So, a quick update on the Bordeaux from last night, and I still can't get the name correct. Chateau Vu Maillet, Maillet, Pomerol. Either way, Michel Roland is actually the consultant on it. Michel Roland is sort of what they call, it's like a rock star wine consultant, like Stefan Darencourt and some others. Melka. I don't know if Philippe Melka does that too, but I think he does. So there's a number of these wine consultants that go around and really try to help these little techniques. Here's what you can do to make your wine better, and whatever it may be. This wine is still awesome. It's gave it like a 4.5 out of 5, but it's truly remarkable. 2018 Bordeaux, and I wish I had more. I don't even know. When I put it in Vivino, it's at $60. I don't think I paid $60, but on the back it really is talking about truffle, but I am not getting the truffle out of this wine. But it's decadent, it's got a rusticity, it's got a delicious factor. It's really a very complete Bordeaux from the right bank. Yeah, I would think this would be a great wine to convert somebody from Napa Cab to what Bordeaux, a bold red Bordeaux could be. That's actually mostly Merlot. So I think that's what this wine would absolutely be. This is one of the more fruit forward and unctuous Bordeaux's I've had in a while, for sure. So it's remarkable nonetheless. Recently, I was asked why I even like white wine, and it's an interesting. You can't really convert somebody to white when they're a red drinker. There are certain wines you could try, a Oaky Chard or a Viognier or Godello from Spain, like a fuller bodied white, maybe a Chenin Blanc. But why do I like white? White pairs really well with foods, with fatty foods too. The acidity slices through a lot of the things, cheese and otherwise. I mean, it's amazing how great white wine goes with cheeses. It's actually remarkable. Probably people probably pair reds with cheese more often, but whites go just as good. But tonight I'm having a Silver Thread 2014 Riesling, the Doyle Fournier Vineyard. I talked about this in the unboxing last night. 12%, claims medium dry. This wine is dry. Like I mentioned, 9 years of age on it. It's already dry, meaning I can't even tell that there's an ounce of sweetness on this. It's sort of, there's young wine, there's developing wine, and there's just developed wine, like just at its peak of age. This is developing, where I think in 2 years it'll be fully developed, where it has more of that, and I call it rotten banana peel, and that sounds gross, but it's not. It's just the aroma I get. It doesn't taste like that, and I'll just splash some wine on myself while I'm at it. But this is an awesome Riesling. It's starting to, what happens with developing Rieslings, I'm noticing out of the Finger Lakes, most definitely out of Germany, not as often out of Alsace, but can't say that I've had as many old Alsatian Rieslings as I've had old German or old Finger Lake Rieslings. There's a petrol component, so there's definitely a petrol thing in here. It's absolutely there. I think once it's fully developed, it's still there, but in a little bit more in the background, where in the foreground will be more of those developed flavors, aromas. But I absolutely crave this flavor profile. It's definitely more tertiary, and it's like the fruit's getting desiccated and dried, and you get that the rotten aspect, but then you get marzipan, beeswax is a big one, honey, not sweet honey, but sort of that taste of an unsweetened honey, like a strawberry. If you've ever had a honey from the flowers that grow on a strawberry plant. It's actually a bitter honey. It's extremely interesting to try. It's kind of like that in your wine rather than a sweet finishing honey. So I think my answer to why I love white is I love the way it evolves. I love the way it ages. Rieslings and Chardonnays and Chenin Blanc specifically, I love the way they age. I can't say I've ever had a really old Sauvignon Blanc to know. I'm sure there's some other whites of the world that would age really well. I just don't know them offhand. I think a lot of whites are just drank very, very young, which is fine. I prefer my Chenins and Chardonnays and Rieslings, especially from a good producer or a good region, like the Finger Lakes, like places in Germany, Baden, and all the other regions, Rheingau, and there's another, the Mosel, and then you got Alsace. And I think out of places like that, the Rieslings are so age-worthy. So it's the acidity too. It cleanses the palate. You can get palate fatigue for too much red. You have a glass or two or three, and your palate kind of gets fatigued. There's a lot of tannin. You want something to freshen it up and liven your palate again. You go with acidity. You go with the white wine. So I think the more you explore wine, more you explore white wine varietals across the world, you may or may not find something that fits your palate and aligns with something you want to taste. These are food wines too. A lot of the times I think white goes amazing with food. Maybe that's a good starting point rather than having them on their own. It's too acidic for somebody and they're favoring towards the berry and the tannin. Just to have a glass of red. I often will have a glass of white somewhere and have it as the drink I have all night, depending on where I'm at, a wedding or an event, and trying to pick a wine of the night. Oftentimes the white's the best bet. Sometimes the reds are a inexpensive Napa, Sonoma, just something that's gonna mess you up and taste like Coca-Cola. This wine's awesome. It's awesome. I wish I had the patience to wait a few more years. I don't. But now being on their wine list, I hope to be getting more of some of their aged Rieslings. So, really long video on the couch. I normally only do this as like a quick update, but I'm literally rotating between red here and white as I'm just finishing up a shrimp parm dish, which is kind of in between what I wanted to have. Did I want to have a red? Bordeaux really wouldn't be what I do with this. Probably Sangio or the Nerello Muscalesi from Sicily would have been perfect with this actually, but I wanted to open up one of these Rieslings tonight. So I'm on the tail end of that Bordeaux. Just opened up this Riesling. This wasn't the normal fridge. It's actually warming up now. So white wine you want to drink around 50 degrees, not refrigerator temperature. Red wine you want to drink around cellar temperature, around 58 to 60, not 70. So about 10 degrees different. As white wine gets warmer, it just shows more on the nose, on the aromas, absolutely. It's tasting even better than it did when I first opened it. So, that's it. Love this wine. It's phenomenal. Another 4.5 out of 5. Phenomenal 2 wines that I'm enjoying as I'm wrapping up my dinner. And way too long a video, sitting on the couch. Have a good night.